Spider-Man 2 is finally here, and after already playing it for a week thanks to PlayStation gifting a review code, I figured out all the settings you need to change for a best possible experience. There's some really interesting stuff here, so make sure to watch all the way through. To celebrate the game's launch, I'm also doing a huge giveaway of 5 $100 PSN gift cards and a copy of the game itself, so keep watching for details on how to enter. Anyway, settings number 1 and 2 are located at the bottom of the settings menu and are to assign shortcuts to the D-pad buttons. I recommend assigning photo mode to the left button, which is what it was by default in the previous game, so you're probably already used to it. Then for the right button, I recommend allocating one of the game speed options. That way, if you want to activate a slow motion effect during gameplay, whether that be because you're just trying to put together a cool video, or if you want to recreate those awesome moments from the films in real time, then you can easily do that. Moving on to the new swinging settings, the third thing you should try changing is found under the gameplay section and is to enable fall damage. This means that if you fall from great heights, you will take a little bit of damage when you hit the ground, so you have to think a bit more about how you land and swing, which adds an extra layer of realism and challenge to the game. It also means that when performing very high momentum maneuvers such as the new loop-de-loop, you have to be extra careful not to smash into other buildings, otherwise this happens. Turn this on and you'll go from being Spider-Man to Splatterman if you're not careful. Trust me, it's hilarious when you properly mess up, just maybe not for Pete or Miles. Setting number 4 is in the same section of the menu and is the swing assist option. This lets you control the amount of assistance that the game gives you when swinging so that you're no longer held back by the training wheels protocol.
Turn it off.
As you dial this down, those assists get weaker and weaker until they are fully turned off and swinging becomes purely physics based with you in complete control. That means you can hit the floor mid-swing if you don't judge it right, as that floor magnet is no longer there to help you out, and you feel the web pull you a lot more towards a building it's attached to as well. Now, Insomniac haven't confirmed this, but I'm positive the maximum swing speed you can get to with this at 0 is much higher than what you can get up to with it at 10, but it does take a lot of time to get used to. Therefore, I advise you keep it on 10 for now, and then dial it down slowly during your playthrough to get progressively more used to it. If you still want that floor magnet to help you out, then setting it to 1 will keep that, but still give you full control over all other aspects of your web slinging. Now, before we dive into the rest of the settings, let me tell you how you can enter my giveaway to win one of 5 $100 gift cards, or even a copy of Spider-Man 2. For the last few months, I've been working tirelessly on a website built for you as gamers, designed to change the way you play games forever. You can find it at mybacklog.gg or via the link in the description and comments. My Backlog quickly learns exactly what it is you love about your favorite games and uses an advanced recommendation algorithm to give you suggestions on what you should play next. No other website or application does real-time calculations for this stuff, allowing my Backlog to be extremely accurate and tailored exactly to your preferences. It also gives you the power to track the games you've played, are yet to play, or are wanting to buy in the future, and you can automatically populate these lists using your PSN ID. There are so many other features as well that I'll let you discover for yourself, and I'm launching a beta build as a way of celebrating Spider-Man's launch. If you sign up by the end of October, you'll be entered into the draw for a free copy of Spider-Man 2, and I'll announce a winner for that at the start of November. For a chance at getting one of the gift cards, head on over to any of Insomniac Spider-Man games and leave a text-based review on as many of them as you like, each being an additional entry. The gift card winners will be announced at Christmas and will be drawn from the top 25% of active users who entered, so be sure to bookmark the site and keep updating your backlog. As mentioned, this is the beta build, so I'm still adding loads of awesome features. I've had a ton of fun working on this solo project and I'm very proud of it, but it is expensive for me to host, so I really hope you all like it. Anyway, back to Spider-Man 2 itself, the next few settings all concern the look of the game, so I found under the visuals heading. There are a lot of things to look at here, and some of them will depend on your exact setup and personal preferences, but I'll try to make this as easy as possible. First off, and for our 5th overall setting, you want to decide on a graphics mode. If you have a 120Hz in VRR compatible display, which you can find out via your system settings if you're unsure, you want to set this to fidelity with VRR set to smooth and 120Hz set to auto. This will give you the best presentation of the game as possible, and you still get a pretty smooth 40 FPS, which works very well on a first run. After your first run through, definitely try another on the performance mode, but for me, the bump in in visual quality you get with fidelity definitely makes that small FPS drop to 40 worth it. If your display doesn't support VRR and 120Hz though, then that means you'll be stuck at 30 FPS in fidelity mode. Personally, this feels just a bit too choppy for my own liking, so I'd probably lean towards performance mode here. But again, on your first run, start off with fidelity, and then if it doesn't feel smooth enough to you, change it over to performance. Also, if you do choose with performance mode, that brings us to setting number 6, which is to turn off motion blur as well. At high frame rates, keeping it turned on just looks straight up bad, but you definitely want to keep it for the fidelity mode. Therefore, when switching between modes, remember to toggle this too. Setting number 7 is film grain, and regardless of your graphics mode, you should definitely reduce this unless you want Spider-Man to look like he's from some 80s vintage home movie. I believe film grain is turned on by default to sort of hide any lower quality textures behind a ton of noise, but for the most part, it really hurts the look of a game in my opinion, so I like to turn it down to somewhere between 3 and 5, but a lot of you might want to turn it off completely. If you're using fidelity, I'd say go to the lower end of the scale, so between 0 and 3, as you've already got a sharper looking game anyway, and if you're on performance, go somewhere between 3 and 5, so it still does its job of hiding those lower resolution textures in the few cases where that might be needed. The 8th setting you want to change is chromatic aberration, and again, I really don't understand why this is always on by default. You might remember from playing the previous games, but in moments when there's a quick sort of jump in motion, such as on some finishers, it feels like your screen is just overtaken by this weird rainbow effect around objects and the side of your screen. I personally absolutely hate this, and I think it takes away from the hard work that the animators have put into all these spectacular animations. So unless you want to feel like you're in a disco every time you land a final punch, I'd turn this one off. Whilst in the visual options, I'd also like to point out that once you unlock any Spider-Verse suits, it does unlock the film style animation and comic effects options here, just so that you're aware you can turn them on or off for any suits in the game. Moving on, setting number 9 is under UI and is found in the notification section. You want to turn off air trick notifications. These pop up every single time you do an air trick, which I'm sure for most of us will be constantly just because of how fun they are. So as you can imagine, this could get quite annoying. Even with them off, you'll be shown how much your XP increases once you finish a chain of tricks, so you miss out on nothing by disabling it. On a similar note, some of you might want to change the mission waypoint display setting to show on scan, so that the main mission waypoints aren't always on your screen if you want to focus on doing something else. Speaking of the UI, keep an eye out on your minimap for the super slingshot icons. The game never really introduces you to them from my memory, it sort of just expects you to notice them for yourself, so I thought I'd point out that they are there and you should use them during your playthrough, as wow, there are a lot of them. Now, for a setting that some of you might want to turn on but does ultimately come down to personal preference, go to camera and then it's a swing camera motion option. This adds extra camera shake when you're swinging, kind of like that glorious opening to The Amazing Spider-Man 2. It did actually default to 10 in the previous games, so maybe turn it on. If you go into audio settings, there's also a great option called Voice Boost, which boosts the voices in the game and reduces the other types of audio whenever a character is speaking. There are a select few points where the action is so high that hearing what people are saying might become difficult, but you might find subtitles or tweaking the main sound balance to be a better option. So again, this one does come down to personal preference. As you'll recall from the previous Spider-Man games, there are loads of points where you have to investigate evidence and objects, and there are loads of hidden details and Easter eggs scattered around Spider-Man 2 as well, with many of them containing a lot of text that's difficult to read. Therefore, setting number 10 is actually in your PS5 settings under accessibility and is to enable zoom. This lets you zoom into things using the PS button and square, though photo mode is also excellent for getting up closer to things. The zoom option just may speed up things a little bit if you're wanting to snoop around at a faster pace. For loads more settings to change on your PS5, check out my full PS5 settings guide, as well as like and subscribe if this video helped you improve your Spider-Man 2 experience. Also, don't forget to check out my backlog.gg and enter my massive giveaway by doing so. Anyway, I hope you all enjoy Spider-Man 2 as much as I did.